What's going on, everybody? I am Vincent Van Ghool, and welcome back to Van Ghool Reviews. Today, we're talking about Black Cats and Batwings by Draven Valentine. So, a little bit of background on Mr. Valentine himself. He's the guitarist to the Dunzos, which is a horror punk band from Callaway, Florida, who themselves have a whole bunch of killer releases up on their Bandcamp, which I will link in the description, as always. So this is Draven's solo offering, and it's really very different from what you'd expect coming from the Dunzos as a group. So let's get into this. This album is sitting at 10 songs, clocking in at 25 minutes, 37 seconds. This is a full EP, or full LP, as it were, excuse me. And it's distributed, much like a lot of my music, links in the description, through DistroKid. And I think it was released on November 13th of 2020. So, all that aside, let's get into the music. Alright, so the first song is called Fake Flowers Die. This one is 2 minutes, 13 seconds, and it opens with a clip from The Craft, and you know he had to go with a clip of Nancy. Right after that ends, the song itself kicks in, and it is a jam. I really love the guitar right up front. Draven's vocals here are, to me, very reminiscent of Robert Smith from The Cure. This is a slower tempo song, but if you take that tempo, you combine it with the lyrics, it really does make sense there. This is definitely one that I find myself listening to quite a bit, and I love that it ends on the word die with nothing underneath it, just the vocals of the word die. I feel like that really underscores the whole song. And so moving on to song number 2, this one is the title track. It's called Black Cats and Batwings. It clocks in at 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Again, that guitar. Ooh, I love it. The song gives off huge, huge Cure vibes for me, and I love how subdued that Draven's vocals are. And there's so much going on musically. It all seems really to be really seamless. I really like the bridge with the hits underneath that main melody. And I really like the technique that he used to record his vocals. They're really clear. And I mean, he really does know how to end a song. I mean, so far, both the songs that I've listened to so far have had really good endings. And now we're on track 3, which is called Rosette. This is a short one at 1 minute and 34 seconds. Kicks in with drums, then a sample of a scream, and then it just oozes all the punk feels. And I love it. I gotta say, lyrically, at least for me, this has a similar feeling of like Return to the Living by Blitzkid. Kind of feels like what would happen if Blitzkid were fronted by Robert Smith. I mean, it's really a really good combination. I love it, though. And once again, the ending is really, really cool. So then there's track 4, Return to Ass-Face Lake. Interesting title. This one sits at 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Got kind of a surfy drum intro, which is cool. Then that kicks right into the meat and potatoes of the song. Really sweet intro, though. Love that intro. And I'm really, really digging on his vocal melodies to this point. Like a lot. It's what draws me back to the album. Definitely this song has a real 80s feel to it. Flashes me back to watching, like, the slasher films from the 80s. You know, you got all those kind of songs. Like, it really harkens you to, like, Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp specifically, in my mind. You'll find yourself nodding along to this track quite a bit, for real. If you love Friday the 13th and you love stuff like Sleepaway Camp, then you'll love this song. And I really feel like Draven would do some cool stuff with the band First Jason after hearing this particular song. And that whole Ain't No Brave part, that is so Johnny Cash. It is just so Johnny Cash. It's a real nice touch, though. We're at the halfway point at track 5, Lovecraft. 2 words, Lovecraft. This one is 3 minutes and 33 seconds. The intro is kind of sludgy, new wavy fun, which drops into that 80s new wavy feel. But it has that Cure vibe still, which is really cool. And I've said it before, I know, but Draven's lyrics are so cool. Like, and his lead melodies always seem to fit right in the pocket. I really like the drums on this too. I love the sound of the drums on this. Uh, then again, I really like the 80s, so maybe a little bit biased. Now we're on track 6. We're on the back half of the album now with the song Ultra Violence. This one is only 2 minutes 31 seconds, so we're back to that punk rock type timing. And wow, is this aggressive and punky. I love this. Draven brings real vocal aggression, and we have to here. I love it, and I'm 100% here for the vibe of this song. Like, I love this. It kicks into some really aggressive riffing, and again, I love it. The vocals I really like because it's different from the first few tracks. Also, you'll start to tell a progression throughout this as his vocals change throughout the song. Throughout the songs when he starts getting a whole lot more comfortable. It's so much fun. It gets kind of poppy and it's a real head bonker. This is a fun song though. You ever want to hear what it would sound like if you crossed The Cure with the Lower Class Brats? Because this total win, total win. And now we're on to track 7. We have Only Human, and this one stays with the short timings at 2 minutes and 8 seconds. And I'm going to tell you, I never really expected anybody to use a sample from the Bela Lugosi classic movie White Zombie, ever. I never expected any band to do this, but it's here. And I love that movie. I think it's great. Again, we kick in with some really aggressive riffing. It really just, like, kick to the head. Just, you're in it. It's a ride. And it's different in a lot of ways from some of the earlier tracks. And I mean, this is definitely one that I listen to a lot. Now we're moving on. We've got, I really like okay. It has a real contrast vocally because the first few songs are so melodic, and then this is so aggressive. And that's what makes it really cool. And Draven has some serious chops when it comes to writing choruses for real. And this one will stick with you. And again, the ending is fantastic. And so we move on to track 8, Death Becomes Me, which has a runtime of 3 minutes and 5 seconds. We open up to a drum fill, and then kick into something that reminds me a little bit of the first album by Orgy called Candy Ass. That's not a complaint. By the way, I love that album. And then it kind of drops into some real metal, which is definitely a different feel from what we've had before. The vocals are different from what he's been doing with a lot more aggression. He's allowing himself to go into his higher register here. Do that more. I love it. Then we get what is basically Draven doing some screams. And it's fantastic. This is so far my favorite song on this whole album. It's definitely a headbanger, and also, holy hell, that ending. Track 9 is next, and it is called Isabella. It's 1 minute 54 seconds. Again, we open on some drums, then the guitar kicks in, and we get some non-lexical whoa-whoas. Can never go wrong with some whoa-whoas. And then it goes right into that really cool vocal melody. Draven is so good at vocal melodies, it seems like. I get a little bit of a 50s vibe off of this, and I dig that. Just straight up, like, rock and roll. And I could really hear, like, this song being done, like, by Dion and the Belmonts, you know? It's that kind of a vibe. And I love it. And from here we come to the final song, Left for Dead. This is 2 minutes, 23 seconds, and we're back to the shorter song timing. We open up with some really, really punky drums and kick into something that reminds me a lot of, like, Earth AD Misfits. I love the vocal melody, and I know I say that a lot, but damned if Draven doesn't write great vocal melodies. I really like the flow of this. Like, everything flows into the next part. I super dig his guitar tone. This is punk gold to me, and that echoing ending is the perfect way to end this entire album to me. So, that is Black Cats and Batwings by Draven Valentine of the Dunzos. If you like 80s dark wave / new wave, Bella Morte, The Cure, Bauhaus type stuff, and you also love like 5 Cent Freak Show, The Creepers, Evelyn's Casket, you're gonna love this. Like, for real. I would definitely recommend getting it, because Draven's selling it. Hit him up. Buy one. I think what I like the most is how well Draven writes his vocal melodies and his arranging. Because, insofar as arranging, this is a very well put together album to me. I don't feel like there's a weak spot in it. And his vocal melodies are almost always fantastic. In fact, this album, I don't think he missed the mark at all in any of his vocals. Like, it was so good. So, I hear you asking me, Vince, what would you give this album, Black Cats and Batwings by Draven Valentine? My friends, this gets a solid 4 out of 5 pumpkins. I absolutely cannot wait to see what his next release is going to be. If he continues in this vein, then I'm going to be happy. If he tries something else, I'm going to be happy. Like, I'm really interested in what Draven has coming next, because so far everything he's done has been fantastic. This whole album, top to bottom, nothing but bangers. So that would be my review of Black Cats and Batwings by Draven Valentine of the Dunzos, and as always, links will be in the description. Check out my other videos, like my review of My Devices and The People They Hurt by Evelyn's Casket, and the videos of my music I have up, like my acoustic stuff, the Creeper stuff, the One Plague Bearer track I have up too. Thank you for spending your time with me. I have been Vincent Van Ghool, and remember, we may be freaks, but we are not alone, and long live the horror.